of Taiwan. I'm Yvonne with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan is working to develop its renewable energy resources by investing in wind farms across the country. But a recent series of breakdowns has some people worry about the project. Bryn Thomas has the story.
Wind farms like these are a common sight off the shores of Taiwan. They're part of a massive investment aimed at increasing Taiwan's renewable energy. But a series of breakdowns has caused setbacks at a farm commissioned by the country's electricity provider, the Taiwan Power Company. Wind turbines here have gone just 6 months without a breakdown this year, with 2 out of 21 generators out of order for more than 3 months. The government is blaming the problem on growing pains. At an inquiry, the Economy Ministry said the production issues will be ironed out by next March.
离岸一起的部分在去年并网哈，那等于是它是一个新的基础。那并网的时候呢，那在相关的跟环境的这个调教，确实花了比较多的时间。那所以就是因为这样，所以看起来好像是很多机组还没有去发电。
But not everyone is reassured by that explanation. The Thai Power Company paid foreign contractors $770 million for the wind farm, and lawmakers want to make sure they pay compensation for missing production targets.
契约的要求的可用率是89%，去年85%少了4%。对，每一个 percent 就2100万，
每一个 percent 就罚2100万，所以现在是少了4%，罚了8400万。8000多是。
The Taiwan Power Company says they fined the contractor over last year's shortcomings and that repairs and maintenance were covered by contracts. But some are still worried about more potential headwinds as Taiwan tries to achieve its net zero goals. Luffy Lee and Bryn Thomas for TaiwanPlus.
A push by public employees to unionize is spreading and getting more political. John Van Trieste reports.
退回协会恶法，基层要组工会，基层要组工会。
Taiwan's government workers say they've had enough. From firefighters to the police, and now legal clerks, they all want one thing: the right to form unions. Taiwan's law doesn't allow public employees to organize. But with an election just months away, there are fresh signs the push for unions is gaining political traction. It was the firefighters who set off this wave of discontent. They've stepped up picketing since September, when a fire at a factory that had violated safety rules killed 4 of their comrades. They say a union is the only way to pressure the government into enforcing safety standards, stopping more preventable deaths. From there, the anger has burned through the rest of the public sector. Some police say they're burdened with work that goes beyond basic law enforcement, and workers in Taiwan's courts are often still on the clock well past midnight. They see unions as the only way to deal with these problems. So far, the government has proposed a compromise, a kind of quasi-union that's now under debate in the legislature. But this has only attracted backlash and more protest.
过高的筹组门槛，协商的处处受限，毫无争议权的结果。消防人员不能对消防事项协商，警察人员不能对警察事项协商。那请问这个协商权的存在意义是什么？
那如果你剥夺了我们罢工权，你裁决委员会的组成应该要更为公平啊。但问题是，协会法草案里面规定，国家可以指派3个人来做这一个就是裁决委员会的委员，那协会指派的人只能2个，那3比2。
In the final stretch before Taiwan's national elections, the country's main opposition parties have picked up the union cause. KMT presidential candidate Hou You-yi and his TPP rival Ko Wen-je have given public sector unions their blessing. Now, the union push is gaining support in Taiwan's legislature too.
人家是要组工会，结果你为了要平息这样的压力跟这样舆论的压力。 所以你提出一个协会出来说，我好理解的物件，那你是在把大家当白痴吗？
不是只有欧美国家的警消有工会，我们连我们邻近的韩国警察都可以组工会了。
But so far, only the opposition has been explicit in its support. The ruling DPP was the only major party not at a press conference backing unionization on Wednesday. A spokesperson for DPP presidential candidate Lai Ching-te, one of the 2 candidates who have not pledged to back the firefighters' demands, stopped short of supporting a union.
In the future, whether it's in terms of revising relevant regulations on public servants participating in different associations or in terms of unions, we will continue to communicate closely with firefighters as well as other representatives.
TaiwanPlus reached out to the DPP headquarters to find out what the Legislative Caucus's position is, but did not get a response. There are only around 360,000 government employees in Taiwan, a small fraction of the country's 23 million people. But with their cause in the spotlight and the issue becoming increasingly partisan, they could help sway the outcome of next year's election. Chris Ma and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan is looking to attract more foreign talent as it grapples with the labor shortage. The government recently opened a new service center to help recruit more people from overseas and help them get used to life in Taiwan. Leslie Liao looks at some of the most pressing challenges people face when they move here.
Taiwan needs more workers. The government wants to attract nearly 500,000 foreign workers over the next decade to fill in labor gaps left by low birth rates and a shrinking population.
到2030年，就未来10年，当时来讲的话，我们到底需要多少的国际人才来补足我们这个人才上的缺口？40万人。
To help bring more people to the country, the government recently launched Talent Taiwan, a service center tasked with recruiting foreign professionals. The center is an offshoot of Taiwan's Employment Gold Card Visa Scheme, a program that allows people to move to the country without being tied to an employer. Talent Taiwan is also supposed to help overseas workers get used to living in the country. That's because there are still many obstacles for foreigners who come and live here.
Aside from giving you the card, once you exit the airport, you're more or less on your own when it comes to finding where do you want to live, where do your kids want to go to school, when it comes to finding many, many things, especially if you've lived most of your life overseas.
Taiwan's Gold Card office surveyed 1,000 Gold Card holders last year and found that 48% of respondents had negative experiences with Taiwan's banking system. It was the top reported problem.
What I have been hearing is the issue of banking, which every foreigner keeps talking about, that perhaps Taiwan banking need to be updated and modernized.
I went to like 5 banks when I wanted to open a bank account. The first 4 I struck out.
Even the Gold Card office's website admits that banking is an obstacle for foreign nationals. It says that people should mentally prepare and expect to spend half a day opening an account. The second most reported problem for people new to Taiwan is the language barrier. 45% of respondents said the local Mandarin Chinese language gave them problems, and that could complicate troubles at the bank.
A lot of times it comes down to tellers not wanting to serve foreigners for fear of being, having to speak English, any miscommunication, so they kind of push it away and they don't want to deal with it.
But language issues go beyond banking. They may pose challenges for those coming to Taiwan with families.
Especially for my wife, who, she has Mandarin, Taiwan roots, but her Mandarin is not native. And she has to deal with the school system, right? She has to deal with, these class line groups where there are 20 messages, 100 messages a day, all in Mandarin.
The banking system and the local language are just 2 of about 36 problems identified in the survey. But they're well-established Taiwanese institutions. So Talent Taiwan has its work cut out for it if it's going to make those 2 things more accommodating for foreign professionals. Easton Sun and Leslie Liao in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, take a look at these Santa Clauses freshly graduated from Brazil's School of Santa Claus. I'm Yvonne. Take care, and I'll see you next time.
For more news from Taiwan and around the world, go to TaiwanPlus.com and download the TaiwanPlus app.